Okay, so let's talk about a band that is, really two bands in one. We're talking about the Doobie Brothers, of course. A group with a single name, but two completely different, totally legendary identities that somehow, against all odds, created one incredible legacy.
So, this is the big question, right? The one we're going to unpack here. How does a single band end up defining two totally different eras of rock music? Seriously, how did they pull off one of the most successful and most accidental pivots in the history of music?
And this just lays it all out, doesn't it? On one hand, you've got this gritty, guitar-driven biker bar boogie. I mean, you can almost smell the leather and stale beer. And then, bam, a complete 180. You get this super sleek, jazzy, soulful sound. We're talking yacht rock. It's like night and day. So how on earth did this happen?
All right, let's rewind. Chapter 1, the Biker Boogie Era. So let's get into their roots. A lot of people thought these guys were from the Deep South, but nope, they formed in San Jose, California back in 1970. The core was Tom Johnston and Patrick Simmons, and their sound, man, it was this killer mix of blues, country, and R&B. But because it was so raw and gritty, everyone just assumed they were a Southern rock band. They even played gigs at these infamous biker bars, cutting their teeth in front of some pretty tough audiences.
And the name? Oh, this is a classic. It was literally a joke that just never ended. A buddy of theirs threw out the Doobie Brothers as an ode to, well, their favorite pastime. Even Tom Johnston himself admitted he thought it was a stupid name they'd ditch as soon as they came up with something better. But, 50-plus years later, I guess they're still working on it.
The story of their first #1 hit, Blackwater, is just pure serendipity. It starts with Pat Simmons just noodling on a guitar riff. Then he's on a rainy trolley ride in New Orleans and the lyrics just come to him. The band records it, but they don't think much of it. In fact, they stick it on the B-side of a single, basically hiding it. But then a few radio DJs decide to flip the record over and boom, the song just explodes. It becomes this massive surprise chart topper. Just goes to show, right?
So, they're on top of the world. And then, everything's about to change. A crisis hits that forces them to make a pivot. But this wasn't just a slight course correction. This was a total, 100% accidental reinvention.
So, here's how it all went down in 1975. Their lead singer, Tom Johnston, gets seriously ill. We're talking hospitalized with severe stomach ulcers. This is right before a huge national tour. Canceling meant they were facing lawsuits, maybe even the end of the band. It was a disaster. Then their guitarist, Skunk Baxter, has this Hail Mary idea. He says, hey, I know a guy from my old band, Steely Dan, and that's how Michael McDonald gets hired. Not as a new member, mind you. He was just a temporary fix to get them through the summer.
And that temporary fix, well, it kicked off a whole new chapter for the band. The smooth soul era.
Now, get this. This is the craziest part of the whole story. When they brought Michael McDonald on board, they had no clue he could write songs. None. They just needed someone to sing Tom Johnston's parts and play keys. They literally had no idea they'd just stumbled upon a songwriting genius. It was a complete fluke that would change their entire future.
McDonald's impact was, immediate. That soulful voice, those jazzy keyboards, it completely shifted their sound. They went from that gritty biker boogie to this incredibly smooth, polished style. A style that would later get a name, yacht rock. And just like that, the Doobie Brothers became one of the pioneers of a whole new genre, totally by accident.
And the success they saw? It was insane. McDonald's first real song with them, Taking It to the Streets, was a smash. Then the album, Minute by Minute, hits #1. And the single from that, What a Fool Believes, well, it also hits #1 and wins the Grammy for Record of the Year. Think about that. The temporary guy they hired to save a tour just made them bigger than they had ever been.
So you've got these two totally different versions of the band. How do you even begin to compare them? It's really one legacy, built from two distinct eras.
Now, this is what I find so fascinating. You'd think one version of the band would have been more successful, right? But look at this. The Johnston era, 3 platinum albums, 1 #1 hit. The McDonald era, same thing. 3 platinum albums, 1 #1 hit. It's almost perfectly balanced. It's just incredible. 2 totally different formulas that both led them straight to the top.
And when you put both of those successful eras together, what do you get? You get this. More than 48 million albums sold across the globe. Just let that number sink in for a second. That number translates into a truly Hall of Fame career. We're talking 4 Grammys, 16 top 40 hits, an induction into the Songwriters Hall of Fame, And finally, in 2020, they got the big one, the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. And importantly, that induction honored guys from both eras of the band. It was a recognition of the whole amazing story.
And you know, the story has this really cool full circle ending. They did break up for a while in '82, but they got back together just 5 years later. And the best part? They're still touring today, with a lineup that brings it all together. You've got Johnston, Simmons, and McDonald all on the same stage. It's a celebration of their entire wild history.
So, all of this brings us back to where we started. That big question. Can a band just completely reinvent itself? I mean, change its sound, its entire identity, and still be the same band? Does its soul stay the same?
Well, I don't think we really need to answer that, do we? The Doobie Brothers' incredible 50-year story, this tale of two bands living under one name, I think that's about the most powerful answer you could ever get.